Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Generation X Nation. Dear Gen X is my handle. I just want to make another quick video. I've been watching these YouTube streets again, and I seen something that kind of disturbed my spirit. I just had to say something, and I don't even get into this person's business too much. And that would be Ray J. Um, I don't know what Ray J has been going through lately. I know the last year or two, him and his wife, Princess, kept going through. They're going to get divorced, they back together, going to get divorced, they back together. I had really thought he really matured when he married her and they had the two kids and moved from California to Miami. Seemed like everything was going, great for him. But I don't know, it's just something that's just off with Ray J. I actually think he does need some type of help or intervention, but of course, guys like him would never say that because Ray J is very, as you say, high spirited, a little bit egotistic, as they say, and he likes to do what he wants to do. I remember watching the reality show his family had, and his family. No disrespect to his parents, but they spoiled Ray J a little bit, and he kind of got away with murder. Definitely got away with more than what Brandy got away with. With that being said, Ray J, I guess, did a little interview with Pastor Bryant, and I guess prior to the interview, I'm assuming when he went to the interview, maybe he wasn't exactly in his best mindset, so to speak, and may have got a diarrhea of the mouth and start telling stuff he had no business telling. And then maybe the next day after the interview, he woke up and realized, oh, I might have said a little bit too much, might have put some people on blast. I might need to reel that back in, which is fine. But it's a way to go and do it, man. You're going to go on social media and threaten a pastor. You got to know that ain't a good look. And we all know Pastor Jamal Bryant and had his issues. We all know he's Giselle's ex-husband, and we know he done dated around a little bit, did a little cheating or whatever the case may be. So we all understand what, his character and what he has done outside of the pulpit. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that he is a pastor and he's currently running a church and he has a lot of members. And I've never in my life seen anybody go on a national format and just threaten the pastor. Now, I've heard people talk about the pastor did this, the pastor did that. He's not a good pastor. He's a fraud. He just wants your money. But you literally threatened this man. I don't even realize you knew what you were doing when you did it because it really was a threat. And this is what I'm saying about this new generation. They have no boundaries whatsoever. They will say whatever the freak they want to say and how the freak they want to say it. They don't care who it bothers. Social media should come with instructions, but it don't. And unfortunately, everything that's on their mind, in their brain, in their head, they just go to social media and just post it out. You know what? I'm pissed off. Let me go to social media and tell the world. The world don't need to know all your business. Frankly, we don't care. Take us out the group chat. I mean, my God, Rachel, you've been in entertainment business how long? You didn't know to call your publicist or your manager or whatever. Maybe you don't even have that. Maybe you're your own publicist and manager. I don't know. But you didn't think to just make a phone call and say, hey, we need to go over that interview before you air it. There's some things that I probably shouldn't have said. I might have, talked a little bit too much. And I'm sure he would have worked with you, and I'm assuming he is now because he did respond back. But you were just so out of line and so disrespectful. And again, I understand Pastor Brian has his own issues, but it still doesn't make it right for you to go and talk to a pastor like that. That was just, you threatened a pastor. I ain't never heard that in my life. I mean, this generation never ceased to freaking amaze me. Because we would have never did that. Even if the pastor was raggedy as I don't know what, and we didn't trust him, or he had some scandals going on, we still wouldn't threaten that man. The only way you would ever see the person threaten the pastor would have been an adult who maybe the pastor may have done something to some member of their family. That's understandable. But you voluntarily did that interview. You didn't have to do it. You did not have to do it. You have too many things going on. You got a wife, you got kids, you got different businesses that you run, the bugs that you sell. You got I don't know if you still do the scooty bikes or whatever. Now you're getting into the TV industry. I mean, you got a lot going on in your life and you don't need a backlash. It's bad enough you went on there with that mega hat on trying to piss everybody off or whatever it was, get attention. I don't know what you was doing. But it's bad enough he did that. And a lot of people kind of felt a certain way about that. But then week after the election, you turn and we already still pissed off about the election. A lot of people, including myself, a little pissed off about the election. And now you turn around and go off on a pastor on social media instead of just pick. I don't know what's wrong with you people. There are still things called phones. We don't have to go on social media and call people out. Try texting the person. Try DMing the person. Try calling them on the phone and having an actual freaking conversation. No, that's too easy. I got to go on social media and let my millions of fans know that I'm halfway out of my mind, high for whatever you on, and so I can go off on the pastor. So I kind of get why your sister is probably pulled back from you a little bit. I'm just going to say, get you some help. There's too many things going on positive in your life where you can continue this generational wealth and your streams of income for your family and your children, for you to be out here clowning. We've seen this before. We've seen celebrities crash out before and it cost them millions. Don't be the next one. Please don't be the next one. All right? Whew. I tell you, this generation, it really gives me a headache. I just don't understand how y'all think, and the social media game is just crazy. I get social media is a way to reach people all over the world. I get it. It's a way to make money. A lot of people make money off of social media, YouTubes and all of that. I get it. It's a good tool, but it's like it's a blessing and a curse. It really is. It's a blessing because there's so much you can do with social media, but it's a curse because the people who on social media ain't got no business on social media. Just abusing it. You know how many times I scroll down there and see people, oh, they're going to tell their whole life story, part 1, part 2, part 50. Don't care. That's your business. Go to a therapist. TikTok is not therapy. Instagram is not therapy. Facebook is not therapy. If you're going through something tragic in your life, if your husband cheating or your wife cheating or you got a baby that don't belong to somebody or somebody, assaulted you, whatever, go to the proper people who handles those type of things, whether it's the police, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a therapist. Social media is just nosy people listening to your shit and then they're going to spread it around. I don't get I get it. Some people say, hey, old girl got a whole Netflix series because she told 60 parts of her life by picking the wrong man during COVID. I didn't even listen to maybe 2 or 3. I am not finna sit here and listen to 60 damn different parts of somebody on TikTok. I'll wait till the movie come out. But here's this. Why didn't you just write a manuscript and send it in to Netflix? It was just easier to go on social media. Give us all 60 parts. Make it go viral. And now you're being famous. Now everybody else think they can do the same thing. Don't care. I don't care how your baby mama dated your brother but got kids by your uncle. Don't care. Go fix your family. My God. I want to say sometimes they need to ban social media, but I know it's a necessary evil. So we just have to figure out how to deal with it. And I just wanted to get on and say that because this generation is just a hot ghetto mess. It literally is a hot ghetto mess. Now, the next thing I'll talk about, I promise you, this show is getting under my skin and I really hate reporting on it. And I am going to take intermission on this show because it really is toxic. And that's that the Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm not really talking about any characters on the show for the most part. I have been for the last 2 days, and again, I don't be nosy as far as listen to a lot of commentators. I like to have my own train of thought. I don't want a copy of the people because God forbid somebody thinking you're stealing stuff from them. I don't want to do that. I like to, be creative in my own mind when I give commentary. I just give it off the cut. I may jot something down on a piece of paper, but a lot of stuff it just comes in my head. So I've been following the latest, and it's not even about the characters. It's about various content creators on YouTube. And again, I'm not calling names. I'm not trying to disrespect people. I'm trying to build my channel. So please, I don't have that. I have 1 or 2 subscribers. I get some views here and there. So please don't bother me. I ain't trying to get kicked off of YouTube. I'm not cussing. I'm not stealing anybody's content. But I will say this, there is room for everybody. I can guarantee you from where I'm sitting, it's a lot of y'all have made money off of this show just reporting it because it's so much to report. It is so freaking messy. So I'm just confused why y'all arguing and fighting with each other. The last two, maybe 3 things that I glimpsed at was people fighting, or I won't say fighting, I won't use that word, or having disagreements about each other. Y'all all doing the same job. You all reporting on the same show. You may have different takes on it. You may like this person, that person don't like that person. But at the end of the day, probably at least 98 or the 99% of y'all don't know these people, ain't never met them. Y'all don't know them. I ain't never met Destiny. I don't like the character she portrayed, but I ain't never met her. If I see her, I'll probably be, okay, it's Destiny. I'm not looking and chasing nobody. I don't understand why y'all think it's okay to call people's businesses or go to people. I just don't get it. It's a TV show. It's for entertainment. And I think some people have taken it too far. And I hope y'all get it together. And I hope y'all work out y'all differences. Because it doesn't make sense when everybody is getting paid off of this show with their commentary. Because people love to hear what other people have to say. And love to hear other people's take on the show. I don't understand how the fans are fighting each other. I just don't get it. I mean, I enjoy, my take on the show. As y'all can see, I do mine a little differently. And again, I don't hate anybody on the show. Please don't come over here saying, oh, you're a millimeter or you're not a mellow, or you hate. I don't know those people. See, in order for me to dislike a person, I had to have interactions with them. I have to know them. They have to have done something to me personally. Watching them on TV does not affect my life at all. But the numbers in my bank account doesn't change. None of that. So take what you see on the television and just report on that. Stop, I just don't like just harassing each other. We got bigger things going on in this country right now. Way bigger things. So doing these commentaries on YouTube, it's just a way to get away from what's really going on out there. So do your take. Somebody's opinion, you may not like what they say, or somebody say, I don't like Sunny, but somebody over here say, I love Sunny. Don't argue with that person. That's their opinion. They have a right to not like her, and you have a right to like the person. So I don't see why we fighting each other. What fan is different over this fan? And the funny thing to me is, according to a lot of people, the show's tanking. The viewership is down. I don't understand how the viewership is down if everybody arguing about it on YouTube. Everybody doing commentary about it on YouTube. So that tells me that y'all don't watch the show. You either record it, watch it later just to make sure they don't get ratings. I mean, if you're going to do and make money off the show, watch the show to keep it on the TV. So at least they can get some ratings and it'll stay on. Because once it goes off, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? My channel really started on this show, and I'm trying my best to veer away from it because it's toxic, and I don't even want to be caught up in that mess. It's a very, very toxic show. But I haven't asked nobody for a penny. I haven't asked nobody to cash out. None of that. Like I said, I just do videos and post them. I just ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. That's all. So I think some of the problems that I came up with, and I decided to kind of do a little comparison, and maybe that'll show us where it went wrong, or I don't know, maybe some things that could be better. And my comparison was between Carlos and Andy. I'm not even talking about characters on the show. I'm not talking about Martell and Melly. I'm not talking about Letitia and Marceau. I'm talking about Carlos, who has basically somewhat labeled himself as the Black Andy Cohen. Okay? And he's trying to take over OWN. And I don't mean trying to take over like this is my station, but you know how Andy has all things Bravo, Most of the shows on Bravo belong to Andy, whether it's Property Brothers or he interviews all the Bravo people. Property Brothers. He interviews the Housewife franchise. He interviews what's that, Vanderpump Rules and Summer House, whatever. So he got a lot of shows over there on Bravo that he either produce, co-produce, or but they all come on his platform and he does interviews. But the difference is Andy, when he interviews the people, he doesn't try to lead them into saying stuff that they don't want to say. He doesn't question them in a disrespectful manner. He tried to get to the truth, and sometimes they get on Andy because they didn't feel he was hard enough on somebody. Like the issue with Robin when she was on there at the reunion, and Andy. I don't think Andy questioned Robin hard enough. He didn't get down deep into her. He didn't, but Andy understands the assignment. So he does what he can do. And if you don't respond to him like you should, and he looks at what the viewers think, Andy will send you packing. Point in case. Bye, Robin. You no longer see her here. You can sit here and play dumb and hide your life if you want to, but Andy is going to send you on the way. He's not going to, if you're not giving what he needs you to give, they're going to move you on to the next. So you have to hold the audience attention. You have to make sure the fans like you. You have to make sure it's not toxic. It's not threatening. Because if it gets bad, he will get rid of you. Now, there's been some cases where he kept people. Teresa over there on New Jersey, and she done some stuff, flipping tables and stuff. He kind of let her slide a little bit. But she's the face of the franchise. So he kind of had to, pick and choose that particular battle. Okay, Phaedra Parks, when she went up against Candy and started that terrible rumor, I'm not going to talk about it, but Phaedra was gone for a minute. He put her out to the pasture for a little while. It got to the point where people had to get a campaign together to bring Phaedra back because he was done. She wouldn't have came back if people would have not asked for her to return. If you don't give them what they want, they're going to get rid of you. Married to Medicine, Dr. Contessa. She's back this year, but she had to take that break because she wasn't giving the people what they was asking for, and she didn't want to show what she needed to show. So they kind of, Andy handles his a little differently. Their ratings are higher over there. And for all of his shows he got, you don't see fans and content creators over there fighting and arguing and all that against each other or threatening other cast members. You don't see that. Because he knows how to maintain that. And they're fan. And I'm not saying people don't say negative stuff about the people on those particular shows, from the Vanderpump to Housewives. They say stuff. But it doesn't get to the point that it gets to on the Carlos King productions. It's just ridiculous. I think Andy knows how to keep his messy at bay. Just enough to keep us interested, but not enough to be disrespectful and rude. And I can guarantee you for sure, there is no way that Andy Cohen would allow somebody to submit a revenge P video of another person and still be on the show. That wouldn't happen. Even if he would have had to sue and bought the contract out and paid him off something, he wouldn't be on that show anymore. If he kicked Phaedra off for allegedly saying somebody had a SES dungeon in their basement and they was giving people things that they shouldn't have, and in order to take advantage of them, there's no way Andy Cohen would allow what Martell did to Melody, and Martell would still be on that show. Just my take. I think Carlos created a very toxic environment, and I don't think he did it intentionally. I think he was excited because the shows had fans and people was talking about it and all that stuff. And then when stuff started getting out of control, he felt like most people say, hey, all press is good press, whether it's negative or not. But I don't think he counted on it getting this far. Because even if somebody's saying something negative, that your name is still out there. So that helps. And I think that's how he was looking at it. And I'm not knocking him. Again, I don't know him. But I don't think he counted on the negative press to go as far as it went. As far as the fans and things that's happening. And now it's out of control. I felt like people should have stepped up long ago and maybe started toning some of that down. But they didn't. They just let it go until it's just, just as they say, sometimes people just be fanatic or just get out of control. And I think when he noticed it getting that far, he probably should have said, hey, the fans, you guys need to tone it down. We love the fact that you're passionate about the show. We love the fact that you love some of the characters on the show, but we can't, get to this point, you know. Because he went down there earlier this year and filmed with Mel on stage and thought it was just great. Called her the Queen of Huntsville. And, oh, yeah, she's the Queen of Huntsville. Had some millimeters in there. Had that's when he introduced Sonny and all that. He thought it was great. Yeah, it was. But I don't think he understood the people he was dealing with. And not that those people are the people that are doing all this stuff, but I don't think he understood just as much as you have fans, you have people that don't like the people. And these people are very, very, very toxic. And you got to also keep in mind, most of the fans, and this is not being funny, no disrespect to my people, but most of the fans of that show are people of color. Whereas Bravo has a wide variety of fans because of the varies variety of shows they have over there of people of different color, different statues. But over here, most of the people are African American fans. And you know what comes with that sometimes. I'm not saying my people don't know how to act, but sometimes we do too much, as they say. And right now, it's just too much. There needs to be an intermission. And I'm not saying with the show, I'm saying with the fans, with the content creators. Maybe just take a week and just not report anything on the show. Breathe. Start over again and then say, there's other stuff to talk about. There's plenty of shows on TV. Just take a week and just leave that show alone. And, let it just breathe a little bit and then start over again. Because the last thing I want is you guys be fighting each other. That's over what? I mean, it's 300 plus million people live in this country. There's plenty of room for you to get more subscribers and more people to follow your page, and things like that. Just don't ruin a good thing. Don't be hating on people getting their channels kicked off and all that stuff. We got to do better. We really got to do better. The ratings aren't as high as they should be on Love and Marriage Huntsville, considering how many people do reviews on it. The ratings should be way higher than that, but it's not. And that's a problem to me. We doing all this arguing and fighting, but we're not helping the show. If we're going to do all this behind the scenes, then at least help the show grow. As far as Martell particular issue, I don't want to, harp on that. But honestly, I don't think he should be on the show anymore. He's not being missed right now, really. Every time he comes on the show, all he ever talk about is his illicit affairs and his ex-marriage. And I don't know, maybe he can't talk about his new life. She seems to be on TikTok and Instagram talking about it all the time, but he never brings it up. So it's kind of funny to me, like, are you in a relationship with her or not? Or is it one of those things where she's in a relationship with you, but you not, but you're in a relationship with yourself? I don't know. Maybe she doesn't know she's not your girlfriend. I don't know. She's just that, that ride or die, I'm stay regardless type girl. That's fine. Rashida in the making, that's cool. I mean, that's what she want to do with her life. Who are we to tell her differently? If that's what she wants the rest of her life to be back and forth. But it's amazing in that situation. I don't get too deep in it, but according to your ex, you married her the day she graduated college. Y'all didn't date barely a year. You got on your knees and proposed to her. You've been with this girl for how many years? You ain't proposed yet. Maybe she just not that bright. Maybe she just not that bright, because it shouldn't take you that long to figure out if you want to be with her. You got a kid and everything else. You still ain't proposed to her, but you was with this lady with no children, dated her less than a year, and got on your knees right after she graduated high school. She should be thinking about that. Just a little thought came in my head. You guys don't have any empathy, I don't know, Carlos doesn't. I don't know, it's like his castmate doesn't show empathy when people are going through stuff. Instead of showing empathy, it's like y'all tear the person down, And again, I'm talking like, for instance, Sonny. There was no empathy for Sonny as a wife. Like, yeah, I understand that's kind of wrong what you did, but you're a wife now, and we're going to have to respect it. I didn't see any of that. I seen y'all chewing her out because she got married. because you didn't like the way it went down. There was no congratulations. There was no I'm happy for you. None of that. That's kind of weird. So that's where people get the toxicity from. It's like you guys don't have a moral compass. Y'all don't, that show doesn't really show people being vulnerable. It doesn't show people helping each other. None of that. For me, it kind of turned me off a little bit when it was just something about not even so Miss Wanda, because I liked Miss Wanda until she started acting crazy. But she didn't really start acting crazy until, right before he kicked her off. But, when she got on YouTube, she lost her mind. But I didn't like the way Miss Betty was on there, just so evil. It was something about Miss Betty that never sat right with my soul. Destiny, another one, no moral compass. I mean, she wants everybody to feel sorry for her situation, but she doesn't show that in return to anybody else. And I'm not going to say the names because their names have been said enough. So I think that's the difference, Carlos. Your show is a good show. Your audience is predominantly Black. We already had 2 people quit the show because it's so toxic. That should tell you something. The lady who, I forgot her name, but the one who had the baby, she quit. She couldn't take it. Tiffany and her husband left, and now Sonny's gone. Martell's still there for whatever reason. I don't know if you owe him anything. The fan base are, low-key behind the scenes fighting and threatening each other. Then you got content creators fighting and threatening each other over this show. So I know there's no such thing as negative press, but that's really bad. So I would tell everybody, hey, at the end of the day, take your intermission from the show. Just don't report on it for a while. That don't mean you can't support the people on the show. I mean, you can still go to their functions or buy their products or whatever, but just don't upload any videos. They DM you, just don't respond. Don't interview them, nothing. I know everybody want to get the first interview because they're going to get the clicks and all that stuff and make the money. But maybe just take a week off and reevaluate it and look at it from a different perspective. I look at how Andy Cohen runs his show versus how Carlos King runs his show. I have nothing against Carlos. I ain't got a dog in the fight. I just want Carlos to and I ain't saying Andy is better than Carlos, but of course they're 2 different people. Their characters and personalities are different. But it doesn't make sense for these shows over here are predominantly Black to be so toxic to where it spills out into the public and where people who don't know each other about to fight each other on social media, on YouTube and behind the paywalls and stuff. That's crazy. That is crazy. And I don't belong to any Patreon channels, none of that. I have not signed up for one yet. So I don't hear what goes on back there. I'm only hearing what they put up on YouTube every now and then when I do look at stuff. As I say, I get busy, so I don't get to see everybody's stuff. But I know it was a big to-do this last couple days. So I just think that's something he can maybe look at and maybe help the show flow a little better. And again, stop focusing on Sonny, Moses, Destiny, Martell, and Melanie. Good Lord, them stories are played out. I don't even want to hear about it anymore. I need to see what the other people got going on. That's what we need to see. I need to see more camera time. And I'm not saying that we don't need to see them as far as them not getting paid and, doing filming, because I know they get paid by how much camera time they get. But let's start digging between the lines on some of these other people, because it don't make no sense to me. It really don't. I know I went on a rampage, but good Lord. Between Ray J on there going off on a pastor, and then next thing you know, everything's popping up where people fighting with each other over a show with a bunch of people they don't freaking know. Most, probably 99% of y'all never met. Now I know a few of them went to some of the functions that they threw down here in Huntsville or whatever, but it don't make no sense. It ain't that freaking deep. It really is. And I hope and pray that you guys get it together. And this is not to be negative. I ain't coming for nobody. I didn't call no names. I don't know you people. I'm not in your group chat. But please, there's room for everybody. Just stop the fighting. It just makes all the content creators who are of African American descent look bad. You don't see them other people up there fighting. I don't see other content creators of other ethnicities fighting with each other like I've seen us do. So I'm just saying, just do better. do better. I ain't nobody's mama. I ain't nobody's grandma. I ain't no telling nobody what to do. None of that. I know how y'all think. I don't know you. Can't tell me what to do. That ain't where I'm coming from. It's coming from a good place. We got a lot going on in this country, and the cards ain't laid out for us to win at this point, at least in the next 3 or 4 years. So the least we can do with each other is try to be respectful, to show them others that, hey, we are a solidified group of people and not divided as they did with us, divide and conquer. That's not who we are. We'll stick by each other. We'll support each other. I'll listen to your channel. You listen to my channel, whatever the case may be. But don't do that, because it's just too much work into being rude when it's so much easier just to be nice to each other. It really is. So hopefully everybody squashed what they got going on. I say take a breather, do a quick intermission, refocus, reevaluate, and then get back on there and get back to it. That don't mean you can't do content this week. Just stay off that show for a minute. I'm going to try to stay off it for about a week or so. I know Saturday when it come on in 2 days, something crazy going to happen. Everybody going to talk about it. And I'm going to have the urge to, but I'm going to try not to, at least for a week, and then I'll go after that. Okay. With that being said, I just want, us to have a good rest of the week. In my political corner or political talk, however you want to call it, it's going to be a hell of a ride for the next at least 3.5 to 4 years. And we're going to have to buckle down and probably go through some stuff we haven't experienced in a while. And I want you guys to just know that, it ain't gonna last for forever. And we just gonna have to make sure that we protect ourselves and we stick together and stand as one. And we need to thank just everybody who tried their best to support us and tried their best to lead us in the right direction. And give us the best advice they could. It didn't turn out the way that we wanted it to, but we got to work with what we got and keep going. So for all the people out there who, marched and who protested and who knocked on doors and registered voters and went out there and actually voted to try to get this thing right, I'm just going to salute you today and just thank you for at least, loving us enough to try to protect us. So we don't know what's ahead. All we can do at this point is stay focused and stay prayed up. And hopefully the ride will be a smooth one. If not, we done been down this road before. At least I know my people. We know rough times. We've been through rough times. It ain't going to be no big thing. I ain't saying it's going to be a cakewalk for some of us. Now there's going to be some of them out there that's going to crash out because they ain't never had to struggle. So you're about to find out what real struggle is. And sometimes there are sacrificial lambs. You make a bad decision, sometimes you end up paying for it. So with that being said, I want everybody to have a great rest of your day. Stay focused, stay prayed up. And for the most part, I guess everything will be okay. All right, this Gen X out. Again, I know I said I'll get another letter in there. I am working on that. And if you like my channel, just subscribe. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. It is in my opinion. Okay, and this is all alleged. I ain't here to hurt nobody. I ain't here to fight nobody. I ain't here to try to knock anybody off the hilltop or wherever they think they at. I just give commentary and keep it pushing like you should. Life goes on. It's a beautiful, beautiful world out there. Take some time to enjoy it. All right, you guys have a nice day, nice rest of your day, and I'll catch you the next round. Gen X out.